My name is Michelle Stone. I'm 45 years old this year. I have limited mobility in one leg and use a cane for support. For work, I run several businesses. You could call me an entrepreneur or a businesswoman. Technically, I'm married. My husband, Kevin, is the same age as me. However, our relationship is purely on paper, a matter of legal documentation. Kevin has another woman in his life, a mistress who was apparently his ex-girlfriend. As for me, I lost all affection for Kevin a long time ago, so I couldn't care less about his infidelity. So why do I stay in this marriage, knowing all this? You might think I should just get divorced already. I did plan on divorcing him someday. When exactly? I kept putting it off, telling myself I'd do it once work settled down or when I had more time. I never imagined that procrastination would come back to haunt me today.
Give me back my happy family. My home. Right now, you old hag.
Ouch. When the doorbell rang, I thought it was a package delivery. But as soon as I opened the door, I was attacked with a bat. The swing, cutting through the air, landed squarely on my head. It hurt like hell, and my vision blurred as I collapsed on the spot. I hit my forehead on the polished floor of the entryway, splitting it open. Blood began to trickle down. The boy holding the bat let out a ferocious scream and prepared to strike again. But I couldn't just lie there and take it. I mustered all my strength into my cane and aimed for his weak spot. It was a perfect hit. The boy's face turned pale instantly, and he collapsed in a heap. I knew who this kid was. Have you forgotten about me?
What are you talking about?
So, those idiots didn't tell you anything, right? I figured as much. Both of us were sprawled out at the entrance, creating this bizarre scene. Not even a minute later, Kevin came rushing downstairs, clutching his phone in a panic. At the same time, Kate Brown, Kevin's mistress, came bursting in through the doorway. Both of them were out of breath, their legs shaking like newborn lambs. It seemed they were fully aware they had really messed up.
Hey, I just got a call from Kate. She said Bob's coming over with a bat.
Too late. He's already here. Didn't you notice while you were on the phone with Kate?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I couldn't get here right away. Michelle, you're bleeding.
Calm down. I'm fine.
You are? But there's so much blood. We need to stop the bleeding.
Hey, that's how you just pull from your apron pocket is practically a rag. Instead, use that phone in your hand to call an ambulance. It'd be faster.
Oh, right. Well, what's the number for an ambulance again?
911, hurry up and dial. Kevin and I went back and forth like a comedy duo before finally managing to call for an ambulance. You might think, if you're this lively, just call it yourself or grab a cab to the hospital. But I didn't have my phone on me, and calling an ambulance seemed like the best course of action given the situation. From beyond the half-open front door, I could hear murmurs from the neighbors. Feeling bad about causing a disturbance, I reminded myself I was the victim here. Just as I was thinking that, the boy in front of me got a resounding slap from Kate.
You stupid brat. What the hell do you think you're doing? Barging into Michelle's place. After I got a text from you saying, I've had enough, I can't stand it anymore, I need to take down the root of all evil, I never thought you'd actually do this. This is assault, you know. Hitting someone with a bat. I never raised you to do something like that. And where did you even get that bat? We don't have one at home. Did you steal it from somewhere for this?
Mom, why are you so mad? You said yourself that this old hag has caused you so much trouble. You said the reason we can't live with Dad is because she's clinging to him. She butted into your relationship with Dad, fell for him all on her own, and has been holding on to him ever since. That's why we can't be a proper family. We're poor, you're exhausted from working every day, and it's all because of her. That's what I thought, so I decided I needed to take her down. I borrowed the bat from school. To defeat evil.
What? What on earth are you talking about? I never said anything like that. What kind of nonsense are you making up? You're completely misunderstanding everything.
What? But, Mom, I just wanted to help you. I wanted to live with you and Dad again.
I don't care. I never asked for that. I never said anything like that. It's all in your head. Are you stupid? Hitting someone over a misunderstanding? You little brat.
Stop it, Mom.
Kate, gripping the bat she had snatched from the boy, began hitting him with it. Her eyes were bloodshot, eerily resembling the boy's expression earlier when he tried to attack me. Even Kevin panicked and tried to stop her.
Hey, you can't hit him. That's going too far. Stop it. Calm down for a second.
Calm down. How can I calm down? Why would he take my complaints so seriously? This kid is seriously messed up. Is he really ours? I can't believe it.
Well, I mean, Kate, you gave birth to him, so I think he's ours.
You only think that because you left her alone and actually attended my delivery. But I can't believe it. He doesn't look like us at all. He's already 16 and still acts like a child. He doesn't even go to school properly. And now he's attacking Michelle. If we had just kept Michelle happy, we could have maintained a stable living situation, but now we're going to have even more damages to pay. And the money we get from you will run out even faster.
Oh well, her true feelings are slipping out now. But I fully understood where Kate was coming from. The real problem was that the boy hadn't been told anything. As I was wondering what to do, I heard the sound of an ambulance siren getting closer. Kevin accompanied me as I was taken to the hospital in the ambulance. Kate, who had still been trying to lash out, was restrained by the paramedics and apparently the police, who the neighbors must have called. At the hospital, I received treatment and was admitted for a few days. Finally, on the day before I was set to be discharged, my hospital room was filled with Kevin, Kate, the boy, and 2 police officers standing guard.
Hey, couldn't we have this discussion after you're discharged and back home? I mean, there's no need to talk about it here in the hospital.
I thought so too, but I figured it might be safer here. You know, just in case someone suddenly decides to hit me with a bat during the discussion, I can get treated right away. I said this in as cheerful a voice as I could manage, but the 3 people sitting by the bed all turned pale. It was just a joke, but okay. Well, if anything did happen, the police officers at the door would handle it, even if for some reason I was the one to start causing trouble. I turned my gaze to the boy, who was sitting there, looking small and nervous. By the way, are you okay after being hit by Kate? I didn't see any cuts or bleeding, but you might have a fracture.
Well, I'm fine. Just a bruise. The doctor said there's no issue with the bones.
I see. That's good to hear. I should probably apologize too. It was an emergency, but I did aim for your weak spot.
Well, I'm sorry. I should apologize for hitting you out of nowhere. I'm really sorry.
Apology accepted. Now, can you tell me why you suddenly decided to hit me with a bat? I'd like to hear the reason. I spoke in a calm yet firm tone, making sure to get the boy to open up. All right. I haven't asked your name yet or introduced myself. Maybe you've already heard, but my name is Michelle Stone.
My name is Bob Brown. I'm 16.
Bob, I kind of already knew your name, but it's important to introduce ourselves face to face.
There's something I wanted to ask you, too. Michelle, earlier you said, "Have you forgotten about me?" What did you mean by that? Have we met before?
Yes, we have. It was a long time ago, about 9 years ago. From the looks of it, neither Kate nor Kevin told you anything, did they? Well, I figured as much. And I understand they wouldn't want to remind you of something scary, but still.
Well, it's not like we intentionally didn't tell him. It just happened that way.
Oh, I see. You seem to have a lot of things that just happen to slip your mind, don't you? I smiled at them. They all looked at me like I was the devil incarnate. All right, let me explain. To put it simply, it's about how I saved you when you were a kid.
Wait, you saved me?
Yeah, you froze in the middle of a crosswalk and a car was about to hit you. I shoved you out of the way and got hit instead, or rather, I was thrown by the impact. I flew several feet, and the injury left me with a bad leg. It's an experience I won't forget.
So, you're saying you're my lifesaver?
Exactly. But I don't blame you for not remembering. You were injured too. You fell when I pushed you, cut your forehead, and started crying. I passed out from my injuries right after, so I didn't see much else. When I woke up, I realized one of my legs wasn't working properly. That was a shocker. Even though I'm trying to keep this lighthearted, the atmosphere feels so heavy. Honestly, I have no regrets about saving Bob, and I don't feel bitter about my injury either.
Well, Michelle, did you know I was an illegitimate child when you saved me?
Oh yeah, I knew. By that time, Kate was already working at my company. Oh, I should probably clear up your misunderstanding too. I don't see myself as the bad guy here. If anything, that title belongs to Kevin and Kate. Kevin was married to me, but maintained an affair with his ex-girlfriend, Kate. In other words, it was an affair. And to top it off, Kate was still a teenager at the time. Kevin was barely out of his 20s, but still. Bob widened his eyes at my words, looking back and forth between Kevin and Kate. Bob, as a 16-year-old, what do you think about a man in his early 30s going after girls your age? And on top of that, being married? Doesn't that kind of spice in their so-called love story feel incredibly creepy? What was it again? How did you two meet? Was it on social media?
Yeah, we started messaging on social media and things just clicked. Then we met up and things got even better.
Hey, stop it. Don't say unnecessary things. It's embarrassing. Looking back, it's a total black mark on my history. Back then, older men just seemed so cool.
Bob stared at Kevin and Kate with an expression of utter disbelief. That's probably the right reaction. So the affair came to light when Kate got pregnant with Bob, right? That was something. A visibly pregnant woman suddenly barging into my house, shouting, "Divorce Kevin right now." Barging in like that. Kate, you and Bob are so alike. Like mother, like son.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get it. It was your first pregnancy, and the time to even consider an abortion had long passed. You must have been overwhelmed. You couldn't tell your parents who the father was, and Kevin had become harder to meet with at the time. So you felt desperate and thought, I'll make Kevin take responsibility, and came to my house, right? I remember that day as clearly as if it happened yesterday. A girl with a desperate expression suddenly showed up at my house. I was younger then, so of course, I was shaken. Kevin had even shared our home address with Kate. Maybe he had even brought her over while I was out. I was so shocked that I immediately called Kevin over and made the two of them sit down and explain everything. And surprised, they admitted to having an affair. I realized then that I really have terrible judgment when it comes to men. I didn't notice a thing. But in a way, I also think I bear some responsibility for not putting in the effort to maintain a typical marriage. Kate was still a teenager, and while both of them were wrong, Kevin was clearly worse for not controlling his urges. Honestly, I felt sorry for Kate. So I decided we'd settle things by having Kevin pay alimony over time. It might take a lifetime, but it's something. I even hired Kate at my company. Her paycheck gets docked for the alimony, but only to a degree that wouldn't affect her daily life. I've also made sure she has access to various support programs for single mothers. And for you, Bob, well, you're just a kid. I wanted you to grow up healthy and happy.
Given all that, why haven't you divorced my dad yet? Normally, when there's an affair, isn't the first step divorce?
Well, yeah, I've thought about it, like someday. But having a husband around comes with certain conveniences. People don't pry or meddle as much. Before marrying Kevin, I was worn out from all the drama surrounding marriage, so I couldn't bring myself to fully embrace being single again after a divorce. And then Kevin, for reasons he couldn't even explain, let the affair get out at work. He felt so uncomfortable that he quit. I took the alimony from his savings, but I thought, well, might as well let him stay on as a house husband. We're not a couple anymore. It's more like an employer-employee relationship. You could even call it a contractual marriage. He handled household chores unpaid, sometimes cleaning at my company for pay. I even allowed him to work part-time at one of our subsidiary companies. After all, Kevin had a duty to pay child support for you. If he wanted to work outside, I didn't stop him. On the surface, he seemed remorseful, but I guess that wasn't the case. I let out an exaggerated sigh. I had my own faults to reflect on. That much I couldn't deny. I prioritized work and failed to address the situation directly. If I had been more proactive, things might not have spiraled this far, and Bob wouldn't have ended up committing a crime like assault. If it was going to come to this, I should have just divorced Kevin sooner, instead of believing his and Kate's words. You both said something like, we don't have romantic feelings for each other anymore, but as family, we stay in touch and help each other. Isn't that what you claim?
That's how I really feel. I truly regret the affair, and I've reflected on my actions. I even want to start over with you, even though I know it's impossible. I've barely seen Kate recently. It's just about giving her money and checking in occasionally.
That's true for me too. I've told Kevin how I feel. I'm grateful for your kindness, Michelle. After I gave birth to Bob, my parents abandoned me, and you gave me a place to live and a job. You could have taken so much more in alimony, but you didn't. With some budgeting, I've been living without any complaints.
Is that so? Then why, if you're so content, do you complain about me in front of Bob? Were you trying to provoke him into this incident?
I swear, I didn't mean it like that. Not at all. Believe me. I'm not a kid anymore. I've reflected on my actions.
Kate and Kevin were desperately denying everything. And then, out of nowhere, Bob spoke up.
Ever since I was little, all I've ever heard from my mom and dad were bad things about you, Michelle. They said it was you who tore them apart, that you forced Dad to marry you and took him away. They told me the ones who truly loved each other were my mom and dad, that you were the villain, a parasite, and a nuisance. They said you leached off Dad and took all his money, leaving nothing for Mom and me, which is why we were poor.
Come to think of it, you did move into a much older apartment than the one I initially arranged for you. I had some downtime during my hospital stay, so I asked one of my employees to look into it. And you weren't submitting proper reports to the company either. Was that because you didn't file anything for months after the move? That's a problem. I don't mind if you don't tell me personally, but when it comes to company matters, you have to be thorough. Why the sudden lifestyle cuts? With the support from the government, your salary, and the child support from Kevin, there shouldn't have been any need for such drastic budgeting. And now Bob thinks you're poor because of it.
Well, that's...
So does that mean you suddenly had extra expenses and had to cut back? Oh, by the way, Kate, I heard you've been going to host clubs lately. At my pointed remark, Kate flinched noticeably. It's understandable. She had spent her youth raising a child, and now she was likely trying to reclaim the time she lost by seeking out companionship with men.
What? Mom, you've been spending money at host clubs? Even though Dad is here?
So what? What's the big deal? I needed a break. I've spent my whole life giving everything to you. My youth, my 20s. They were all taken by you.
Kate seemed to snap, speaking with an uncontrollable fervor.
If you hadn't done anything unnecessary, I could have continued living the way things were. That would have been fine. All I had to do was keep this witch happy, and I could have bought brand name goods and gone to see my favorite hosts. But no. You ruined everything. Take responsibility. I gave birth to you, so pay me back for that debt right here and now.
Whoa, calm down, Kate.
Shut up. Don't touch me, you old fool. This is your fault too. Give me back my life. I wish you'd just died in that accident. Then I would have been the victim, and everyone would have sympathized with me. Why are you even alive? And why would you save the child of your cheating husband's mistress? Are you crazy?
Mom, what do you mean by that?
I just helped because I thought I could. It wasn't until after getting hit by the car that I realized, oh, this is Kate's Bob. I spoke in a way that seemed to shield Bob, but when I saw the tremble in his eyes, I knew I couldn't cover up the truth. Bob, you might not remember, but after the accident, when the police questioned you, you said, my mom told me to wait in the middle of the crosswalk. Tate claimed, I told him to wait at the park across the street, not in the middle of the crosswalk. He must have misunderstood, and she stuck to that story. Apparently, the police accepted that it was your misunderstanding or memory lapse, but it seems you've forgotten all about it too.
No. That can't be true. Does that mean my mom really?
That's what I've been saying all along. It would have been better if you'd just died when you were little. At least then, I could have reclaimed some of the time I wasted on you. And now, you've attacked Michelle, making you a criminal. What are you going to do about it? You've turned me into the mother of a criminal. Is that fun for you?
I didn't mean for this to happen. I really thought Michelle was the bad guy. I thought if she were gone, we could live together as a family.
Oh, please. That was never going to happen. Your dad and I only acted like a happy couple for your sake. But when you weren't around, most of our conversations were just trashing Michelle. And even that was just to kill time. You heard those conversations and misunderstood, didn't you? See? You're delusional.
Hey, that's enough. Bob is my son too. Stop saying such horrible things.
What? Now you're suddenly playing the protective dad? It's so obvious you're trying to score points with this brat.
By the way, here's a fun fact. Kevin, you're infertile, aren't you? So how exactly is Bob your son? Care to explain?
What?
What are you talking about?
I heard it from your mom and dad. Apparently, you had some illness as a child that caused it. They said you should know about it. Wait, your reaction. Don't tell me you didn't know. I only found out recently when I reconnected with your mom. It was quite the surprise. If Bob isn't Kate and Kevin's child, what does that mean? It would mean Kevin has been paying child support for a kid who isn't biologically his. And Kate, she would have been raising Bob while lying about him being Kevin's child, meaning she was involved with another man at the same time as Kevin. Kate and Kevin exchanged awkward glances, their movements as stiff as 10 dolls. Since we're already at the hospital, how about we get a DNA test? Though it doesn't have to be here. Either way, it's something you two should clear up. It might be late, but better late than never.
Well, Michelle, I really am sorry for everything.
Oh, save it. I'll give you credit for always trying to weasel your way back into my good graces, though. But stop causing a scene. Well, not that you haven't already made a huge fuss. Anyway, I'm divorcing you, Kevin. That's final. Just letting you know right here and now. All right then, I guess that wraps things up. That's all for today. I'm exhausted from all this talking, so I'm going to sleep now. Get out. The three of them, accompanied by the police officers, left the room. I thought I'd shut the door, but I could still hear loud yelling from outside. Probably just my imagination. If you're curious about what happened next, Kevin and I finalized our divorce. As for Kate, it was discovered that she'd been stealing and selling company property, so she was fired. Bob wasn't prosecuted for his assault on me. However, in a desperate and reckless act, Kevin and Kate attacked my company and were caught attempting arson. Now they're sharing a cozy cell together. Bob enrolled in a rehabilitation program and after completing it, returned to school. But rumors have a way of spreading. Bob's actions were soon known throughout the school, making him a target of bullying. And so, although Bob became a target of bullying, he refused to give in. Determined to discipline himself and avoid causing trouble for others, he decided to become someone who could live independently. He transferred to an extremely strict boarding school located deep in the mountains outside the state. It seems that Bob has found genuinely trustworthy teachers and friends there, allowing him to settle into a calm and stable life. Just the other day, I received a letter from him, sharing a brief update on his life and reiterating his apologies to me. Now that my injuries have completely healed, I've decided to move out of the house where the incident took place. I think I'll finally be able to fully enjoy the peace and air of my very own space.